We are back on Sounding Board, and you've heard us talk much about Go Green at Saugeen. Well, it's happening this Friday and Saturday, Friday night and Saturday at the CAW Education Center. Friday, the whole day, there is the Youth Environment Forum that goes on in the schools and is being hosted by SDSS. And we'll get more on that a little later. Roberta Brignall is here. She is with the Community Foundation Grey Bruce, who is putting this on in partnership with Bayshore Broadcasting. And we're just a few days away, Roberta Brignall.
How exciting.
Yes, indeed. And indeed you should be for something like this, because there is what I've always said about this type of forum that you do, it's unique in that you go into it and you aren't lectured to and you sit there and nod off. Every single workshop you have on the Saturday and the Friday evening are things you can use that you can take back home and start using right away.
Exactly, and it's also made so that if you have an interest in one thing, you can go to hear that lecture for 20 minutes and then pop over to another one and then over to another one. So you can set your own criterion for the day and just follow it.
I've asked you a question that would normally take place in the middle of an interview. I will just back up a bit for people that haven't heard and are listening for the first time about Go Green at Saugeen. What is that?
Well, Community Foundations of Canada does a report card on Canada once per year, and the environment was the issue for 2009 and 2008. And so the Community Foundation Grey Bruce was mandated to hold community meetings and hold an educational forum for those people that wanted to learn new initiatives, new programs about the environment and ways that they can help.
And that's what you can do. Not only help, but help yourself and make your place, your little area, a better place to live, and in doing so, making the world a better place to live. There are people there that will be guiding us, if you will. We have various speakers and the workshops that are going on. Tell us about the workshop Saturday before we get to our guests.
Well, the beginning workshop is environmental groups making an impact, how you can volunteer and be part of that. Time and money payback on your renovations, that's of course a big issue right now. Our precious water, an update on Lake Huron and the water systems. Climate change, not only celebrating the International Day of Climate Change on Saturday, but also what we can do learning about the changes that are going to occur in our area specifically. And then we have the Green Energy Act, the feed-in tariffs, home applications. We have the local food movement, we have lessons from nature and Aboriginal perspective, and we have green access through technology. So there's probably about 40 speakers that are going to be available to you, and as I say, you can just go to whichever ones you would like to visit.
Wow, there are a ton of them there. You might want to get together with your friends and sort of map it out how you're going to handle it, and then get together later and exchange ideas and so on. And that Saturday only costs $20, as I understand.
It's only $20, and basically that's just to cover the cost of the hall and to cover the cost of a nice lunch for you.
Well, that's great. We've had lots of people coming in buying tickets here, and it's interesting, the people that have come in here to buy tickets, they say, I want the whole package.
Lovely.
Because they
Very
really
nice.
do want that Friday night kickoff and
Yes.
the 100-mile diet and the speech by Simon Jackson.
Yes, we're very pleased to have Simon Jackson coming. We're just thrilled about it. He's going to be speaking at Saugeen District Secondary School to approximately 700 youth in the afternoon, and then coming over to the CAW to speak to people that would like to come in the evening.
Now, you mentioned one at the very end there. It was
Green access through technology.
Green access through technology, which I thought was a perfect segue into Ryan Wiseman,
Yes.
who is obviously going to be presenting that and helping to present the information.
That's correct.
All right, well, he's from Owen Sound. He's on the line, as is Brett Belcher. We'll get to Brett in a sec. Ryan, good morning, and welcome to Sounding Board. It's good to have you here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Ryan, you've got a job ahead of you here this coming Saturday to present going green through technology. And when people hear the word technology, many of us start to glaze over, our eyes glaze over because it's technical in scope. What is it that you're going to tell us that we can use?
That you can use, hopefully, a variety of things. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's too much of a job ahead of me either, really. It's more than anything else, I'm going to sit down and tell a bit of a story over the course of the session that looks at just my past experiences. Coming from an environmental studies background, I taught geography and resource management for a lot of years, and then I transitioned into an interest in technology and the web, feeling that was a place or a way to sort of further the environmental message. And so I'm going to be highlighting sort of what I've seen and what's happened over the last 15 years of that experience.
Give us a taste of that. Past 15 years, what kind of highlights come to mind?
What kind of highlights come to mind? Well, certainly from a technological perspective, the tools the tools to communicate, to share ideas, for green-minded individuals to share knowledge and skills with others, and for the community at large to just have access. I mean, to literally sit down and Google, right? Because to Google something green, that didn't even exist, not that many years ago.
Sure.
So access to that information is far more abundant. That's actually a good thing and a bad thing, because with the wealth of information that exists online, what's the best information is another sort of important thing to consider. So, like I said, the tools are out there, and there are a lot of people that are doing a good job of archiving, categorizing, organizing all this information and making it available to individuals, community organizations, etc.
And I was going to ask you, do you sense that it's making a difference? Are people making a difference, taking advantage of this technological explosion?
Well, certainly, I think, and I'll make note that the place that I'm going to start my talk on Saturday is actually with a look at our attitude, right? So I'm looking at the attitudinal shift that's gone on since maybe even mankind's initial introduction to technology, but that's been ramped up considerably, right, in the last few years. When I have access, when I'm empowered to get the information, I'm far more likely to get a hold of it and then act upon it, especially in light of a social networked world where I can share my experience in a Facebook or other online sort of space. I can share with others. I can watch other people charting a same course to awareness, realization, and action. So that's kind of an exciting thing to see.
It sounds like an interesting event and forum that is going to take place on Saturday. We'll just hold you on the line for a second, Ryan. Ryan would sort of kick it off, okay? You're going to go to your computers to look at the material. As he says, Google Green, and a ton of things will come up.